The same logo that sells for $5 and $5,000 on Fiverr. Same platform, same category, often sitting right next to each other in the search results. And what took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out, their client paying $5,000, they're not getting scammed. They genuinely believe they're getting the better deal. And there's actual brain science that proves they might be right. Now, I've earned over $500,000 on Fiverr across the 5 years of freelancing that I've done. And for a decent chunk of that time, I was massively undercharging because I thought that if I put up my prices, everyone would disappear. So today I'm going to break down the real data behind why some freelancers charge 10 times more than you do, and clients are still happy to pay it. I'll show you the exact positioning tricks premium sellers use, real case studies of people who went from $5 gigs to six-figure income, and the psychological experiment that genuinely made me rethink how I price everything. Now that last one especially, stick around for it because it's a bit mad. Oh, and just a quick one. Before we get into it, if you are brand new to Fiverr or you've been on there for a while and you're still not getting orders, then I've put together a full course called the Ultimate Fiverr Course. It's 6 modules, 24 videos, takes you through literally everything from setting up your gigs properly to landing your first orders. Link is in the description if you want it. But now let's get into it. Right, so let me show you how extreme this actually is. On Fiverr right now, logo design ranges from $5 for new sellers to easily around $3,000 to $4,000 and upwards for the same thing for a Fiverr Pro seller doing full brand identity. Website development, $80 for a basic landing page, all the way up to $10,000 for an e-commerce build. Video editing starts at $10 for simple cuts and again can jump up into thousands for enterprise packages. And that's not hypothetical, that's truly happening right now. Just go take a look for yourself. Fiverr's own corporate data tells this story even more clearly. In 2025, orders over $1,000 grew nearly 23% year on year. That's the fastest growing segment on the entire platform. But that's not even the mad part. The mad part is what the income distribution looks like for actual sellers. Roughly 96% of Fiverr sellers earn less than $500 a month. The average seller is meant to be making about $104 a month. But the top earners, they're pulling in $5,000 to $35,000 a month, if not more sometimes. And let's just get this right. It's the same platform, the same tools, and the same pool of buyers you have access to as well. So the question is obvious. What are the top 1% doing differently? And it starts with something you probably wouldn't expect. Now, pay attention to this next part because it's probably the most important thing in this entire video. In 2008, researchers at Caltech and Stanford ran an experiment. They gave people 5 different wines to taste, except there were only 3 wines. 2 of them were served twice, just with different price labels. Same liquid in the glass, different number on the bottle. The $5 wine, when labeled as $90, was rated dramatically better. And you might think, yeah, obviously. People just say what they think they should say, placebo effect or whatever. But that's not what happened, because they weren't just asking people to rate it, they were scanning their brains. The fMRI scans showed the part of the brain responsible for experiencing pleasure was genuinely more active when people drank wine they believed was expensive. Their brains weren't just thinking it tasted better, they were experiencing it as better, physically and measurably. Yeah, sit with that for a second. Now, a separate study from MIT and Stanford found the same thing with energy drinks. People who paid full price solved significantly more puzzles than people given the exact same drink at a discount. The price changed actual cognitive performance. So, what does this mean if you're a freelancer? Well, when a client pays a few thousand for a logo instead of $50, their brain literally processes the result as higher quality, even if the designs are comparable. Nobody's being tricked. That's just how human psychology works. Price is not just a number, it's a quality signal. And when buyers can't directly evaluate quality up front, which describes basically every freelance hiring decision, price becomes the main way that they judge whether something's good. A 2023 meta-study across 6 experiments with nearly 3,000 participants confirmed this. Higher prices consistently created higher quality expectations. And a study of Fortune 500 executives found that in markets with higher provider variance, which is exactly what freelancing is, price functions as the dominant quality cue. And if you want proof that this works in reverse too, in 2012, JCPenney got rid of all their coupons and sales and switched to everyday low prices. Revenue dropped 25%. They lost 3.3 billion in sales in a single year. Customers didn't want cheap. They wanted to feel like they were getting a deal on something valuable. The parallel to freelancing is pretty direct. Dropping your rates doesn't attract more clients. It makes them wonder whether you're any good. Right, so that's the psychology. Knowing that clients value expensive things more is interesting, but it doesn't help unless you know how to actually position yourself as worth it. So let me show you what the top sellers do differently. And it all starts with something deceptively simple: specialization. The data on this is pretty clear. Specialized freelancers charge 2.5 to 4 times higher rates than generalists in the same field. 89% of 6-figure freelancers work within a defined specialty area. Think about it this way: a web designer competes for $500 projects against thousands of other generalists. A Shopify designer for direct-to-consumer beauty brands charges $5,000 for a store build, and clients come to them already convinced. And this is where it gets really interesting, because positioning goes way beyond your title. How you talk to clients matters just as much. Premium freelancers treat initial conversations as consultations, not order intake forms. They ask diagnostic questions before suggesting solutions. For example, let's discuss your goals so I can recommend the right approach, versus send me the details and I'll do it. One sounds like a professional, the other sounds like someone waiting for instructions. Danny Margulies, who went from unemployed to 6 figures on Upwork in 2 years, said, "Every premium proposal has to answer 3 questions. Are you capable? Do you understand what I need? And can I trust you?" Budget freelancers send the same template to 50 clients a day. Premium freelancers write 1 or 2 highly customized proposals per day. That's it. The packaging matters too. On Fiverr, the free tier pricing system is a massive opportunity that most sellers completely waste. A good way to set it up could be like this: basic as your low risk entry point, just enough to get someone through the door. Standard at roughly 3 times the basic price, capturing most of your actual revenue. And premium at 3 to 4 times standard, there to anchor perception. Now, of course, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach, but it does just give you an idea of how you could be setting this up. In essence, if you went this way, then it should be that most conversions land on standard. The basic removes friction and the premium makes standard look like great value by comparison. That is anchoring, and it genuinely does work. Now, I know what some of you are thinking.
That's all well and good, Chris, but if I put my prices up, I'll lose everyone.
I get it. I thought the exact same thing for years. So let me show you exactly what happened when I did it. All right, so back in 2023, I made just over $72,000 on Fiverr. I completed just over 500 projects in total, and this was when my prices were low. And many times I would have friends of mine who are in the same niche as me tell me that my prices are too low and I should increase them because their prices were already higher than mine and they were making more money. So in 2024, after rebranding, I did exactly that. And my income jumped from 72,000 to almost 140,000, with an average monthly earnings of around $10,000. Order-wise, I increased by approximately 100 orders that year. Then 2025 came, and I also increased prices a little bit more. Still not as high as what they could be though. And we reached $172,000 and added an extra 180 orders to my overall year compared to 2023, averaging around 15K a month. And if this doesn't show you the true picture of what happens when you increase your prices, then I don't really know what would. But that's not the part that should surprise you the most, because multiple freelancers have actually documented that raising their prices increased demand. One freelancer who doubled their prices reported getting more inquiries, not fewer. They could afford to be more picky, which meant better clients, better projects, better results. It's a pattern that shows up again and again. And there's actually a name for this, the Chivas Regal effect. It's a whiskey brand that I'm sure you already know. They were struggling at low prices. They raised the price, changed absolutely nothing about the product, and sales went through the roof. In freelancing, higher prices filter out the problem clients and bring in the ones who actually value what you do. Which brings us to why this matters more right now than it ever has before. The freelance market is splitting into two tiers. One side, commodity work at rock bottom rates. On the other side, premium specialized services at serious fees. The middle ground, generalist freelancers charging $30 to $70 an hour, getting squeezed from both directions. Too expensive for price shoppers and not specialized enough for premium buyers. Fiverr itself is proof. The platform lost 1.1 million buyers over 3 years and grew revenue by nearly $100 million in the same period. A platform literally named after $5 now caps gigs at $20,000. And the CEO publicly stated that they've moved beyond being a marketplace for small digital services. The fact is, the platform has abandoned the $5 model. The sellers who haven't, they're the ones still stuck. So look, the biggest risk is charging too little. Low prices attract difficult clients, signal low quality, and trap you in a volume game where 96% of sellers earn less than $500 a month. The sellers who break through don't just put up their prices, they change their positioning. They pick a speciality. They package solutions instead of individual tasks. And they communicate like consultants, not people waiting to be told what to do. Now, if you're serious about getting this right from day one, my Ultimate Fiverr course covers it all. 6 modules, 24 videos, everything from setting up your gigs properly to getting those first orders through the door. Now, I built it specifically for people who are either new to Fiverr or stuck wondering why nothing is happening yet. The link is in the description, so go check it out. Otherwise, this video on screen is something that you should probably go watch next.